Good day, Will Jansen from Will of Africa, and with me today Russ Vermeulen from Overland. We are with the Land Cruiser 79 that we specifically designed for our purpose of traveling through Southern Africa, and with this vehicle we provide a service in terms of logistics as well as a complete kitchen. This vehicle has got a lot of elements. We're going to unpack with you today what we have chosen for this vehicle and also the reasons behind that. Now, first of all, I would like to start with the Ironman bumper, which is a full loop bumper, which has got its integrated winch plate, and we currently has a 12,000 pound winch on the vehicle, plus the Ironman spotlights. And at the back, we currently have the MTech antenna that we are using, and it also has its integrated fog lights, and it's got its day running spots at the bottom. Now, Russ, you and I spent a lot of time with this vehicle traveling through Namibia. What was that one thing that made this drive so different?
I think the setup of the vehicle predominantly. Well, obviously Ironman's done a full the Foam Cell Pro setup for us on this. So Foam Cell Pro shocks together with the upgraded coils in the front and then the heavy duty leaf packs in the rear. I think the setup is just built for this vehicle. Obviously very application specific to what we need, because obviously this vehicle carries an incredible amount of weight. Makes a big difference from Ironman's side. One of the other things that we've added to this vehicle as well, which is phenomenal and does the world of difference, is Timberin has actually given us a hybrid system that we've installed on this vehicle. So we've got active off-road bump stops in the front, which helps us with that unsprung weight that moves up and down and just dampens everything the way that we need it damped. And then we've got the SES weight carrying for towing and hauling, as they call it, in the rear. So what that does is it helps phenomenally when the vehicle's at maximum load, because obviously we load everything into the back of this vehicle. So I mean, there's fridges, recovery gear, the roof racks are packed full of stuff. There's all of the team gears in the rear, so it's properly heavily laden in the back. So having that in the rear and having the SES in the back, which then at full capacity load gives us that additional little bit of weight carrying, and then also gives us that progressive dampening rate with regards to how it absorbs the impact in the struts and the divots in the road and that type of thing, makes the world of difference.
I must say, I've just been in Namibia for 6,500 kilometers, and the front setup was remarkably notable.
Yes, the front.
Because I just felt how the kinetic energy came from the axle, and the bump stop just absorbed it, and that the shock absorber was already on its way down as we actually gone through the dips.
Yes.
And we hit that at 100 kilometers per hour. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but these vehicles are extremely well built, and the road handling on these vehicles are phenomenal. The other thing that we've done to complement this vehicle is the actual Ossenberg tray setup that we've done at the back. Now, that's remarkable.
Very, very, very well thought out setup, and kudos to you for coming up with the design.
Thank you.
It's from a form and functionality perspective for what we need, especially on our trips, makes the world a difference. So we've not only got the utility tray right down at the bottom, which in itself is remarkable, because everything that you see on this vehicle can be removed, and we're going back to an absolute base level flat bin that we can use as a utility vehicle as they were built for, from the factory. But then we've got all the nice added benefits like the drawer system that sits in between the Bushtec canopy right at the top, and then the drawer system at the bottom. And then obviously all of our other gear, our fridges and all the rest of it then gets in-housed, and encompassed in the top of the Bushtec canopy.
What I've experienced on our trip was the actual fact that it was so dust-proof. It is phenomenal to see how little dust came into the drawers on the side, and also through the Bushtec canopy on the side. And this is not even positively compressed.
No.
It is just so well sealed.
Yes.
You can see on the Stanley flasks how little dust there actually is on inside the unit.
Yeah, and going back to the Stanley side of things, I think this vehicle's probably got one of the nicest bush coffee setups you'll ever find in your life. So all Stanley flasks in the back, all Stanley cups. The drawer system in the back that Will's designed with regards to the little stove compartment that we have, and the washing up section and stuff. That entire setup just makes it so easy. You stop next to the road, you pull your kettle out, you fire up your stove, and whether it's coffee or tea, biscuits, away we go. So always a classy stop when we do stop.
What I thoroughly enjoyed about was the capacity of the actual roof racks. It was phenomenal what the Onka roof rack could carry. and also how easy it was to just strap it down.
And then obviously having Ironman's tie-down straps, those elasticated tie-down straps that they've got, whether it's a swag on the top of the roof or you know,
all the wood that we carry,
all the wood that we carry around. It just you throw the stuff on the top there, strap it down, and you're good to go.
The absolute drivability of this vehicle, loaded. It's got a 100-liter of water tank between the Bushtec canopy and the cab of the vehicle. It's got a 3-stage filter system on the actual vehicle. We even have got a compressor unit that we can pump air into. When we stop, we can just quickly blow the excess dust off,
everything
and
out.
that makes a big difference.
A big difference. I mean, we travel, and you especially travel deep dark Africa. The road conditions that we have up there aren't favorable in any way, shape or form. So having a canopy and a setup the way that we've got, that's I won't say dust proof because nothing's dust proof, but 99% dust resistant. And then having the ability to have that little air, or the air compressor unit that you can literally just slap it in there, get the little bit of dust off before we start meal prepping or making coffee or whatever the case is.
Because at the end of the day, for our clients, it's also important that they can see we're trying to look at the hygienic side of things as well, and the cleanliness of our operation.
Yes.
Because you don't want to, and especially when it's like getting dusty and muddy and everything else.
You don't want coffee with dust on the inside of it. No.
The inside of the vehicle, we've opted with the Takla seat cover system, Cantec. Brilliant. Clean it out. It is just so easy to use, and it's been with the vehicle since from start, and we're currently standing at 50,000 kilometers, and I can honestly say we've got zero issues. Takla is a great product.
Look, the versatility of Takla is what actually sets them apart from everything else. Like you say, we've got Takla, the Cantec seat covers that we have in here. So the beauty of it is they fit like the OEM covers would fit. So you don't have any issues with regards to, you know, seat covers sliding or you being uncomfortable or, you know, doing something weird behind your back while, because I mean, we spend hours and hours and hours in the seats of these vehicles. The other nice thing about them is the maintenance. So obviously we pull them off, we chuck them in the washing machine, wash them. Once they dry, stick them back on and they're good to go.
Good to go. Yeah.
I think the one thing that you did forget to mention a little bit is not only do we have the Cantec seat covers, but we've got that very nifty dashboard cover on there as well, which is nice. So from a versatility perspective, having storage space in a vehicle like this is you can't have enough of it. So having the little bags on the front, it not only protects the dash from the harsh sun, but gives you a place to put your sunglasses or a fleet card or your wallet or your passport or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. Just to look at the outside of the vehicle, so often we don't talk about the actual wheels or tires that we're operating. Now we have opted to go with the WR Off-Road's road rage rims, and they've got like a 3,000 pound per actual wheel.
Yes.
Weight capacity. I mean, they are aluminium cast wheels, but they are so strong.
Very strong. Remember, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people miss with regards to building and outkitting a vehicle like this. There's a couple of elements that need to be considered and taken into proper consideration from a safety perspective. Wheels and tires being number one. Obviously, we've gone the route of upgrading it with a high capacity rim, so we know that even if we're fully laden and we do hit a divot in the road or there's something that is unforeseen, it's not going to crack a rim, it's not going to break the studs off, none of that's going to be an issue. We run general grabbers on this vehicle specifically just because they haven't given any hassles whatsoever. They do have little tears on the sidewalls, that we've plugged them on more than one occasion, and somehow they always get us home. So from an all-terrain tire perspective, I think the generals that we run on this vehicle are absolutely suited for us.
So with this vehicle, we've then run with two 105 lithium batteries, and we've paired that with the Victron setup. So we've got the complete Victron DC to DC charger. We've got the MPPT, the inverter that we've used, and we even have the AC to DC unit that we've combined into making sure that we consistently have enough power.
Yeah, so if we do get to places where we've got shore power and we want to make sure that everything's up and topped up and all the rest of it for the next leg of the journey, we can plug it into an AC socket and away we go.
Absolutely, because I must admit, in this whole trip, I never ran below 70% of battery power.
That's the beauty of running lithium, especially in the big setup that you've got in the back.
Correct. The one thing that we didn't mention yet is the upgraded brake system that we have deployed on this vehicle.
Yes. So again, going back to safety critical elements like we do, you know, on all of our vehicles that we have in our fleet, Obviously, the heavier a vehicle becomes, the more force you need in order to get it to stop. But force is one element of it. Keeping the brakes nice and cool, keeping them vented, making sure that they don't overheat and heat soak is actually key to what we've got. So Ironman was very nice to give us a first prototype set for this vehicle, which we've installed. So what they've got is they've got slotted rotors that we've put, or discs that we've put in place of the OEM units, and together with them they've actually got a very special compound on the brake pads that once they're embedded, once they're in, gives us probably, if I had to hazard a guess, anything between like a 35 and a 40% upgrade with regards to braking force and stopping ability.
And Russ, I experienced that on our last trip, where sometimes you misjudge your approach to one of those washouts in the roads.
And it's lastminute.com to get onto the brake, yeah.
Correct, and when you actually apply that pressure, it's instantaneous.
It's there, yeah.
It's right there, and it just gives you that extra second in terms of distance. And you know what we travel in 1 second.
Yeah,
it's up to about 28 meters.
100%. It's a confidence booster of note. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that just then helps you to go through those wash out and then to continue safely.
Obviously helping, having the Timberlands in the front and the Ironman Foam Cell Pros with the whole setup the way that it is, all those things make a big difference with regards to how the vehicle handles and stops. Yeah.
But that's the whole point. We can't just look at one element.
Yeah.
We have to look at the combination of how we put that together. Because if you don't have proper shock absorbers, you're not going to get that rebound when it's actually absorbed into the active off-road bump stop.
Yes, correct.
And at the same time, if you don't have proper brake setup, you're not going to brake in time to protect your shock absorbers, your coil over.
And everything that's underneath, of course. I mean,
absolutely, absolutely. Last part of this vehicle is we've installed the RMAX Safari snorkel.
Yes.
And it's actually coupled with a Smoky Bandit free flow exhaust system on the vehicle.
If you want to make your 2.8 sound proper, then that's the exhaust that you stick on there. Yeah, look, the RMAX snorkel is a phenomenal piece of engineering. The amount of additional air that it gets into the airbox is fantastic. Obviously, Toyota comes out with what they call a raised air intake. It's not a snorkel from the factory, and the reason it's a raised air intake is if you look at the way that it's set up, it's got the top section of the snorkel here, but you'll find that there's a cut line right above here. So that isn't dust proof and waterproof. So that's why it's called a raised air intake. Where with the Safari Air Max snorkel, we have a sealed unit all the way from where the intake is all the way through to where it actually gets to the airbox is a completely sealed unit. So now we don't only keep the dust out, being in the lead of the convoy, obviously, we don't have the dust element that gets into our airbox, but if we do have to go through river crossings, we do have to do those type of things, we've got that added benefit now of momentarily going through the water. It will make sure that we don't pull water into the motor.
If I remember correctly, you were at the back of a 16 vehicle convoy in Namibia earlier this year.
I was, and funny enough, there wasn't a lot of dust that came into the airbox anyway. So, from a design perspective, the guys from Safari RMAX have just hit the nail on the head. A very, very nice addition to this vehicle.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. This is the Will of Africa's Land Cruiser 79 that we are using for all our safaris.
And what a 79 it is! I've just got to compliment you.
And it's a 2.8.
It is a 2.8
automatic, beautiful drive. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending this time with us, and it is always a privilege just to share with you a few of our developments that we are doing, and also part of what we explore within Africa, because at the end of the day, Will of Africa are memory smiths, and we would like to encourage everybody to get out there, enjoy our nature responsibly, but also at the same time travel safely.
100%.